So water filtration, water purification, what's the deal with this? Folks, this is Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist. And yeah, it's a valid question that I got in one of my previous videos in the comments. As always, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. If you're looking to get better prepared, you have the channel with a ton of information already. Use the search function. Leave your comments if you want any specific topic you'd like me to cover. I do this for you guys, so let me know what topics you'd like me to cover in future videos. I'll do my best to address that. You also have my books, Street Survival Skills, Surviving the Economic Collapse, very relevant given everything going on these days, and Bugging Out and Relocating. The 3 books are available in the comments there below. Now, you have a number of techniques so as to sterilize or make the water safer for drinking. There's very little you can do so as to make water 100% safe all the time. Even some of the best filtration systems are not 100% safe. There's things that they simply will not filtrate, and there's certain contaminations that will just get through. So it really depends on what you're dealing with. If there's a chemical spill and what you have is something else besides water, well, there's a good chance that the only way in which you will get rid of that is just distilling water to its purest form. And even that depends on what kind of chemicals you're dealing with. So it's not always as simple as it is, but at the same time, you don't have to overthink things either. So basic things so as to make water safe. You have the option of boiling water that will kill any little life forms that you want to avoid getting infected with, but at the same time, you will not get rid of contaminants, heavy metals. You're just boiling the water. You're killing anything that could make you sick. And the same goes for a couple drops of bleach in a liter of water. Yes, this has saved countless lives all over the world. It certainly has done that in Argentina with the typical poor water conditions that still a lot of people live with. So yes, couple drops of bleach per liter of water, stir using sodas method with transparent bottles exposed to sunlight. All of these things work. Now, and yes, instead of a couple of drops of bleach, having a little tablet so as to sterilize that water. It's even better if you have some form of filtration that will remove even more of the things you don't want to have in your water. So, or sometimes you can even combine both. So a tablet plus some form of filtration. This is the well-known Life Straw, which it does work. It does its thing, especially for natural courses of water, streams, anything that looks like, yeah, the water is crystalline enough, but you don't know if there's a cow peeing or pooping all over it uphill. You just have no way of controlling that. So even in that case, boiling, drops of bleach, a little tablet, even better if you combine that with a filter. It could be something like your Sawyer or this one, very similar. There's a bunch of them by different brands, but you kind of have these lightweight filtering options. This is mostly the stuff you would use when you go out camping, or at least more for us, it's gonna be in our survival kits, in our bags, in our EDC bags or bug out bags. Now, the reality is that most of us, we are using water mostly in normal household circumstances, and for that a tabletop filter or dispenser of water or a pitcher, those work quite nicely. And again, you can overthink this as much as you can overcomplicate things as much as you can. The reality is that in most of the civilized world, the average quality of the tap water you're getting, it's acceptable enough. Now, there are exceptions. There are states in the United States which are honestly quite bad because of the amount of solids in the water and a bunch of other things. The water is not really all that good. Now, is it better than you probably think it is? Yeah, kind of, unless you're in I think that Texas has pretty bad water, a couple other states, they're not all that great, and it's usually, more a matter of taste and flavor and how much you like that specific water or not. Usually the standards are not all that terrible, but you can do better, and just a little bit of filtration may help you at least improve the taste or even improve the chance of avoiding some nasty thing in the water they want to avoid. And in all honesty, some of these filtering jars or pitchers, they're like what, 20, 25 bucks. The Brita ones are not maybe the best ever, but they're still acceptable quality, and they're one of the well-known brands in in the sector. But maybe one of the better known ones would be like your Berkey filters, and these days you hear a lot about the zero water filters, the one over there. Now that one I've used for many years, the Berkey filters that use ceramic filtration. At least for me, it has worked great for a number of years. I will also say that the quality of water, of tap water that we have is, yes, it's actually very, very good. Both in solids, it's like 150, which is very well regarded. You know, anything below 200, that's a nice number. pH is also quite good, but the Berkey gives it a little bit of a bit more filtration, and I would even say that the taste is improved. Now, the zero water is the latest one I've been trying, and it works on a different, it has like these ceramic, some kind of ion process that it goes through, and it basically leaves no, it's you get back zero. There's zero solids in the water, both good and bad, because it does not discriminate. So it's pulling any magnesium, any lead, any kind of, I mean, you're basically getting as close as you can to distilled water with this thing. They're not exactly the cheapest ones around, and the pH does drop. And you'll see that in a future video, doing a little bit of testing and comparison here now in the channel. But this is one of the one of the better known and some of the more one of the brands that gets the best results. Is this the best solution? Well, do you even have a problem to begin with? Again, you want to know what kind of water you're getting from the faucet. If you are lucky enough that you're getting high quality tap water, well, maybe in that case, just one of those little pitcher or jar things is gonna be more than enough for your needs, or maybe nothing at all. Sometimes that is actually a thing where, yeah, the water you have on your faucet is perfectly fine. In fact, I would have to make a very strong case that that's the case for my water. The taste, everything is perfectly fine. But there's also that thing of, I want to be prepared just in case. So you may want to have one of these things just in case. And by the way, I'll leave links for all of these things below, you know, at least the ones that I do find. So if you want to be prepared in terms of, yeah, the water quality I have now is very good, that may change in the future, absolutely right. You're correct regarding that, no doubt whatsoever. The case is that in Argentina, for example, for many years, the water just smelled of bleach because they just dropped a bunch of bleach in pretty crappy water, and yeah, you better have some kind of filtration. Now, for many years in Argentina, I didn't use either Berkey or zero water. I used one of the locally produced filters. It's basically a bunch of activated carbon filters that just makes it, you know, pretty well. It works nicely. It had like a little cup filter for some of the larger solids, and it was something locally produced. Worked okay, and yeah, we did quite well. Basically, find whatever it is that works for you. If you want something for your bags, for your kids, your bug out bags, your survival kits, and so on, maybe you're considering some of these things, and as well as some of the techniques such as boiling, you know, all of that stuff. And for your house, again, if it's something that you really want to go into because the quality of your water not good, maybe install a household system to begin with. The zero water filter works very well, but it is especially good when starting from a not so bad spot. If you have readings of 300, you know, over 200, let alone 300 or 400 of dissolved solids in water, based on the little testing that you can do, you're probably going to be changing those filters every couple of weeks, and that's going to be expensive because they are not cheap. The quality is surprisingly good once it's filtered, but they are kind of high cost, high demand. You have to change that very often. If the quality of water you have is already very good, then why are you even use it in the first place? And then the tried and true Berkey, which will not filter any of those things. It will not change the pH of the water. It will not reduce the amount of particles. It may even add to them, and that's perfectly fine, okay? Because it's still filtering the water and getting rid of those things. But this, yeah, the zero water filter, I will say it's because of that resin ionized process thing that it does, it just absorbs everything from the water, and you're getting as close as you can to pure water without anything else in there. But guys, there you go, a classic for preppers and survivalists for many years now, the Berkey water filtration system, and this is one of the other options that I think is worth considering. And I'm not discarding the pitchers, the jars, and some of the other ones, especially if you find something that is, you know, even better, something locally produced with a good solid reputation. Yeah, by all means, go with that and use it at your discretion when you believe it's necessary, or at least put it apart for an emergency case if you ever have to use it. Folks, that's gonna be all for now. See you on our next video. Take care.